Welcome to Ablight and my exclusive coverage of the Skirmish game mode, which I have these talented indie developers to thank for, as they know just how much you, my audience, love seeing these kinds of projects, especially one that is so unique considering its Sewerpunk and Dieselpunk themes. In addition to several skirmish matches with three factions, Guardians, Plagued and the Inquisition, I will show you that the game already has a work-in-progress map editor and a unit tester mode. More on that later in the video, but do note not only are most features unavailable yet, even the ones I'm showing in this video are early in development and the game still has a very long road ahead to reach even visually what the developers plan for its final version, let alone mechanically. This is especially important to mention because of its resource system, which while right now reminds of Blizzard games, it will be more like the one in Age of Empires by the time the game is completed. This is a very early development build, as I said, so keep that in mind as you see buildings with no textures, factions with missing air units, voice lines which are too loud or repeating, and so forth. You might ask in that regard, why show such early gameplay in the first place? This is the unfortunate result of there being so many games in development or early access on the market that scoring funding from investors or publishers is almost impossible without first having some recognition on the market with a high number of wishlists on Steam or followers on social media. So if you want to help Ablight developers finish the game sooner, give them your support now by wishlisting and following the game on Steam, link is in the description. I have talked about this topic a lot more in my previous showcase of Ablight and even in my Future of the RTS genre video, which I will link as a card on the screen here and down in the description. Now, as you can see in these skirmish matches, I made sure to play with all three of the factions, which have been planned from the start to be asymmetrical, even if they don't look that way now in this early development preview. The base building aspect is another part of the game that is very much in the ongoing phase, but some notable facts are the worker units, which you start with and need to keep recruiting to harvest several types of resources, main HQ building, which can be upgraded, both basic and advanced buildings for unit recruitment and research, as well as a unit limit raised by adding more buildings of the specific type. Naturally, most of you won't like the limit on population, but luckily Ablight is designed so most units cost just 1 or 2 supply points, and even with a 200 unit limit that is currently planned for it, will still let you have a lot of units on the field. These units cost varying types of resources and take different amounts of time to produce, while you can have multiple production buildings, each with its own production queue. These developers know the RTS genre by heart and want to not just make a technically sound game, which means appealing graphics and proper unit control with all the other elements that entails, but also lots and lots of quality of life features and keyboard shortcuts. I can't show you many of these aspects right now in this version, but when I took a look at the planned controls and keys, it took me minutes just to read all the lists. So in that regard, you won't have to worry about the game not providing a modern control system. The AI functionality that is currently in the game lets you add bots to play with or against, and there is a large number of difficulty settings you can use as well as a handicap system. What surprised me was the number of maps already available, and while some are for 2 players, there are those that can be played in large team battles. This is something I have left for my future videos on Ablight. Naturally, this early in development, these maps don't have much character beyond their theme, be it snow, grass or sand, but they do have terrain features and resources spread all over. I don't plan to spend much time talking about the resource system, considering that I have already explained it is just a placeholder right now. The options shown on the skirmish setup screen for maps gives us a sneak peek at just how much customization for battles developers plan to have, but these are not operational right now. In this development build of the game, the combat between these three factions allows you to use infantry, mechs or beast units, and there are already some air units available mainly in the Guardians faction. Right now, combat is quick and flashy with almost no unit abilities since these have yet to be added. You can see unit stats when you hover over them in the recruitment menu, but not when you select them, and I have noticed some interesting stats there, which I believe are not very indicative of each unit's current stats, but more placeholders for future development. Time to destroy units, especially the low health infantry ones, is very short, and if I was base building during combat, I would often miss the action if I wasn't looking for a few seconds. There is currently a healthy mix of melee, short and medium range units, and I particularly like how big units are really much bigger than the lone infantryman. Some defensive buildings have already been added, but I rarely use them, especially against the AI with higher difficulty. They will quickly amass a combo of units and come at you, so if you want to eco up first like I did in this match, they will defeat you in minutes. This is why next time I made sure to turn the tables on the AI and rush him first to destroy his workers and eco buildings. Of course, this gives him the defender's advantage, because I have long supply lines for new units, while he is recruited right there in his base. This is something that changes later in the match, when I started to run out of resource nodes inside my starting base and position, so as resources have to be gathered further out, workers become more exposed and base defenses more stretched out. This kind of gameplay will of course change over the course of future development of Ablight, and that is why I will bring you each new step in future videos. As for the map editor, which the developers want to get into your hands as soon as possible, I can only say it is there, but I'm not allowed to show you its functions yet. But the unit tester mode is something I can go much more into detail, and it is a wonderful tool more games should offer day one to its players. Being able to just spawn in any unit you want and choose its opponents is an amazing tool for learning the game and preparing yourself better for skirmish or multiplayer matches. All three factions and all their currently available units are present in this tester mode, and it is very easy to use it in its current work in progress stage. Even this early in development, the easy flow of Ablight made it very enjoyable to test out and play many short matches versus the AI. I am very hopeful many of you will like this game and keep supporting the developers. In my previous video I talked about other features like the campaign and other game modes, both single and multiplayer, so I won't repeat myself in this one. You can already share your feedback and impressions with developers in my comment section, but also directly to them on their Discord, link to which is in the description of this video. For more new and upcoming RTS games like this one, use the cards on the screen. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!